In this video, I'm going to show you how to invest in the Australian stock market as an international student. So if that's you, then I would encourage you to watch the entire video because I'll provide a step-by-step list of all the important things you need to do before you make your first investment. And at the end of the video, I'll show you how to buy your first stock as an international student. So if you're interested, let's get straight into it. So the first step is to find out if you qualify to be an investor in Australia. The good news is the Australian government welcomes foreign investment. If you are an Australian resident for tax purposes, then you can invest in the Australian stock market. According to this article on the ATO site, if you're enrolled to study in Australia in a course that lasts for 6 months or more, you may be regarded as an Australian resident for tax purposes. So if that's you, then it means you qualify to invest in Australia. So this means as an Australian resident for tax purposes, you pay tax on your earnings at the same rate as an Australian citizen or permanent resident. You're entitled to the benefits of the Australian tax system, such as the tax-free threshold, tax offsets, and generally lower tax rates than a foreign resident. So I'm guessing most of you watching are students enrolled in an Australian course, so this will apply to you. Also, it's important to note that Australian residents, including citizens and permanent residents, must declare all income they've earned, both in Australia and internationally, on their Australian tax return. So for example, if I own a property in the United States which earns me rental income, then I need to report this in my tax return as foreign income since I'm an Australian citizen. However, if you are an overseas student, then you probably have a temporary visa, which means you're classed as a temporary resident, so the same rule may not apply. For example, if you are from India but studying in Australia as an overseas student, then you only need to declare income that you receive in Australia. So that could be dividends received from the Australian shares that you invested in. But if you have property back in India that's paying you rental income, then you won't need to declare this in your Australian tax return. However, I'll link this article from the ATO site about foreign income exemptions, and I strongly recommend you read this article to make sure you're doing everything right. And as an extra precaution, if you're planning to do a lot of investments in Australia, I would recommend talking to a tax accountant to make sure you're doing everything correctly. Alright, so now that we know you qualify to invest in Australia, the next step is for you to open a tax file number. If you're investing in Australia, you'll need to pay tax on any capital gains or dividend income. Now some of you may already have a part-time job in Australia, so you probably already have a tax file number. If so, then you can just use the same one for your investments. And if you don't have one, then I'll leave a link in the description below so you can apply for one. And the link will take you to this page which shows you who can apply. And since you're already a foreign passport holder and you're already in Australia and you have an overseas student visa, you're eligible to apply for the tax file number online. So click this green tab here to apply online. And you don't need to worry about all these requirements since you are an overseas student with a visa. Let's click start. And from here, it should be very easy to fill out. Just provide everything they ask you and answer all the questions truthfully, and you should have no problem getting approved for a tax file number. But if you do get stuck or you have any questions about the application, then comment down below and I'll do my best to help you. Alright, the next step is to open an online brokerage account. This is where you can buy and sell Australian shares. Please note when you sign up to an online broker, they will ask you for your tax file number. Technically, you can choose to provide this later, but if you do that, then any tax you have to pay will be charged at the highest rate possible until you provide a tax file number. And that is why I asked you to apply for a tax file number in the previous step. I would strongly recommend getting one before opening a brokerage account. There are several online brokers to choose from that will allow you to open an account as an international student. The ones I'm aware of includes CommSec, Selfwealth, and Stake. I have used all three brokers before and they are all good. Now I can't tell you which one is the best, but you can do your own research to see which one suits you best. I've also done a few videos reviewing these brokers which you may find useful, so I'll link them down below. But I did promise to show you how to buy a stock at the start of the video, so for that purpose in this video, I'll use Stake as an example since it's the broker I'm currently using. And the good thing about Stake is you can invest in both the Australian stock market and the US stock market as two separate accounts, which is what I do. I find that it's nice to be able to switch between my Australian and US portfolio in one platform. And if you sign up to Stake using the link in my description, you will receive $10 if you fund your Australian account, and you'll receive a free stock worth up to $150 if you fund your US account. All you have to do is click the link in the description and complete the application all the way through, and you should be able to set up both an Australian and US account. The application process is quite easy, and once your account is approved, you'll need to fund it to receive the bonus. And again, if you're not keen on using Stake, I'll leave a link down below to a few other brokers that I've reviewed. Alright, so once your account is approved, let's open up the Stake app. And you'll see that your portfolios are split between Australia and Wall Street, which is a nickname for the US. So for this video, let's stick with Australia and select AUS. You'll first need to fund your account, so let's click the account and select funds and balances. Then let's click add funds. Now you can choose how much to deposit. So let's say you want to transfer $1,000, just type that in and click next. Then you can choose your deposit method. You can choose to fund your account with a credit or debit card, but you'll be charged with a 0.5% fee. I would not recommend doing this. The cheapest and best way is to do a bank transfer, so let's select that option. And if your bank has OSCO feature, then the deposit should be instant. Click next and it will provide the bank details for your Stake account. Now Stake has a partnership with ANZ, so all their accounts are ANZ accounts. So you can rest assured, since it's a Big 4 bank, it will be secure. Then you can log into your regular bank and make the transfer using the details provided. And once you save your account details to your bank, you won't have to do the previous steps again next time you fund your account. You can now simply use your bank account to transfer to your stake account directly. Please note that if it's a first time payment, then your bank may hold the funds for 24 hours, but all future deposits should be instant if your bank has OSCO. So once your fund has arrived, then you can go and buy your first stock. Click the search tab and search for the stock you want to buy. For example, if you wanted to buy Commonwealth Bank stock, then you can search for the ticker symbol CBA, or just start typing Commonwealth and it should pop up. Now, of course, this isn't a buy recommendation for CBA. I'm just using it as an example since it's Australia's largest company. So let's click the green buy button. You have an option to buy per number of shares or by the full amount. If you want to buy per share, you can enter how many you would like. So let's say you want 10 shares of CBA. So let's enter 10. Then you have the choice to set your price. If you don't want to waste time, then just set the price as the current ask price, which is the lowest price the sellers are offering. Usually the order will go through instantly if you do this. However, say you want to buy at a lower price. Say you're not happy with the current price and only want to buy CBA at $95. Then you can just set the price to $95. But just know that the price may never reach that low, and if it doesn't in the next 30 days, your trade order will be cancelled. Another way to buy is by amount. So let's say you want to buy $1,000 of CBA. Just enter $1,000 and set the price once again. Let's set it as the ask price as before and click review. So here it's showing you your buy order. So basically it's selected 10 shares for you because that is the maximum quantity of full shares you can buy with $1,000. You may have noticed my brokerage fee is $0, and that is because there is a current promotion where Stake will reward you with free brokerage for a period of time if you can get a number of people to sign up using your referral code. But normally Stake will charge $3 brokerage per trade, which is quite cheap compared to other Australian brokers. And once you're happy with this, click submit and the order should go through instantly. And congratulations, you have bought your first stock. It's as easy as that. Now before you start investing, I feel like I should remind you guys about the risk that comes with investing in the stock market. Please make sure you do some research first to understand how the stock market works. Please do not take investing advice from random people, including myself. Just because your friend at work tells you to buy a certain stock does not mean you should do it. Also, some of you may have seen stocks go up like crazy during the pandemic, and maybe someone you know was bragging to you how much they made in the stock market, so now you feel envious and you want the same thing. But please note that these types of gains from the last few years are not normal, and unfortunately, it may have caused some people to have unrealistic expectations about how much money they can make in the short term. So don't just throw your money into the stock market and expect to double your money in a few weeks. That is called gambling, and you're better off going to the casino and putting your money on red if that's your attitude. Please remember, the money you invest should be money that you don't need in the short term for rent, food, and other living expenses. It should be money that you can afford to lose or lock away for many years. And to be extra safe, I want you guys to create an emergency fund, which will cover at least 6 months of all your expenses if something were to happen to your income or you have a medical emergency. The last thing you want to do is having to sell your stock at a loss to pay for something unexpected. I don't want to see you guys in financial trouble and have problems keeping your visa. I want you guys to succeed in life and enjoy your stay in Australia. So guys, please be careful and invest safely. By the way, if you made it this far, then you are awesome, my friend. Make sure you comment the word Destiny down below to let me know that you made it this far. Also, consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, as I'll be putting out more content like this in the future. And if you guys have any questions about investing or even about Australia in general, let me know down below and I'll make sure to reply to you. So that is how you start investing in Australia as an international student. And if you want to learn more about investing in Australia, then click this video on screen where I talk about some of Australia's most popular ETFs and what they contain. Thank you for watching, I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next video.